Hey, soul lovers, it's your girl Lisa Marshall, rolling with the goddess, keeping it old school and analog. I turn in those sound waves into delicious songs to share with the world. Music with hope, grit, and a whole lot of soul. So tonight, we are exploring, is it true? The Fairchild 670 is what gives you that tight mix. I recently went down a rabbit hole with this. How to really get that 670 to work your mixes, pump and groove, and give you that deliciousness over your songs. So tonight I'm focused on a custom song order about a city that I thought was magical the first time I went there, San Francisco. And if you know, you know. The first time I went was in 1990. Fell in love with that city. So cool. Lived there for a while. Lived in Oakland, Mill Valley, Santa Rosa. I worked in the city. Loved it. I loved it. I loved how the fog would roll in. I loved how hilarious it was. I worked on the east side in Potrero Hill, right on the bay, facing Oakland. And then on my ride home to Mill Valley, which I would have to come through the city and over the Golden Gate Bridge, I literally would have different phases of long sleeve shirt, jacket, warmer jacket. What a cool vibe that place is. So this song is an acoustic. I'm putting on my boots because my feet are cold, even though it's sweltering hot here. The song is a custom song that is written about San Francisco, commissioned for this person wanted to basically commission a song for her two best friends who are a married couple and the time that they've spent in San Francisco and the great memories. And they have this dog, Ruger. So I thought I would just get on and show you. We're going to go through the mix bus process here. I'm going to also pull up the live so I can answer any questions and we can talk about what the process is here. Hey, Steph, welcome. Uh-oh, am I freezing again? Yeah, I'm freezing. Hold on, let me mute my mic real quick. I think it's because the TV's on as well. And I might have to turn off my my phone. I don't know why we're having such issues right now. Could be storm coming. I'm frozen, totally frozen. All right, hang in there for me. Still frozen. Okay, how's that? Are we okay now? Let me get back to my channel here. Oh, here we go. All right, I think we're good. Let me make sure here. All right, right on. Okay, let's try this intro one more time because I think it got a little botched up. Tonight we are focusing on, does the Universal Audio Fairchild 670, is the Fairchild 670 the answer to getting that tight sounding mix, that tight, round, low end, that Stax sound? That's what we're using. We're using the Stax Records techniques and tricks and tips and applying them to a digital world the best that we can. So, in case you missed it, Lisa Marshall here, old school soul lover, rolling with the goddess, keeping it old school and analog, and we're turning these sound waves into delicious songs to share with the world. So that's what I hope I can help you do tonight. And as we continue on these live streams this week, I will be mixing more songs, recording my EP live, and playing some songs as well. All right, so let's get started. This song is Untitled. It is an acoustic song. I'm going to shrink up my head here, and I think I'm going to turn down my microphone a little bit. It seems a little hot to me. Now let me shrink up my head. Let me get out of this too. Okay, so this is an acoustic song. I wrote this on my acoustic guitar, the first guitar I ever owned at the age of 21. And when I first moved to California from the East Coast, and as you can see here, I've got my mixed bus chain already ready. And we're just going to start with, I'll put these back down to 0. We're just going to walk through this mixed bus chain and we're going to talk about it. And if you got any questions, please do. Hey, Wendy Ash, I appreciate that so much. Right on. Well, thank you for being here. All right. Well, my hope is that by sharing this stuff, I've also got these PDFs on my website. Well, the lead vocals and the backing vocals. I'll be adding the mixed bus chain soon. I've also got the CST chains, which means you literally will download it and just pull it up into your Logic DAW. It is for Logic only, using Waves, Logic, and Universal Audio. But for tonight, hopefully, I can kind of turn you on to this mixed bus process, and we can listen to how it'll affect the song together. And first of all, I'm going to turn off the rest of the chains on the backing vocals and the lead vocals. Make sure there's no other chains. Okay, I'm going to leave the tape on because, excuse me, if you think about how the chain worked at an analog studio like Stax Records, right? You got the players, they go into a console, they go into some compression, EQ maybe, and maybe a little reverb for the room actually creates the reverb. So I'm creating that here on the mix bus with an aux channel, and I'm using Abbey Road's, Waves Abbey Road's plates. I love this reverb. And I'm just using the preset large plate. And I'm just feeding it a little bit, so sorry, from the auxiliary channel into the Abbey Road plates to get kind of a room sounding reverb, right? And it would go to tape. So then to mix it, they would play it back from tape. It would come back through the console and through the processes again, right? And then back to tape. But we're not going to go back to tape. We're just going to go out from the DAW. So here's where we're starting. You can see I've got this U-lean meter in here. I'm not really too concerned about that right now. What I'm trying to do is make sure that this mix bus here stays around between minus 18 and 15 dBs. That is kind of 0, if you will, for an analog plug-in, starting with the Waves J37 tape. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to turn that off. All right, so we're going to loop one of the biggest part of the songs here, where we got a lot of vocals, where everything's going on, right? We've got a lot of guitar noodling, we've got the rhythm guitar, the acoustic guitar kind of digging in, and we've got hand claps and snaps. that up so it just loops itself without ending. All right, first of all, I need to put these la-las into this backing vocal bus. I didn't realize that they were not. All right, here we go. And actually, let's back it up to the chorus because the lead vocal is not. All I'm doing is gain staging a little more on the other mixed buses of the instruments and vocals before I go into the mixed bus. All right, great. So let's start here with the J37 Waves tape on the mix bus. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it right away, but you might. Excuse me. All right, I'm opting for the Waves J37 tape because it closely emulates what was used at Stax Records. It's not exact, but it closely emulates, and it's got a lot of features that can kind of get me close to that. So that's what we're doing. So first of all, we're starting at tape speed of 15. We're doing a little saturation between, well, I've got it driving pretty hard, so we'll crank it back down to about 2 or 3. I'm going to do it at the top because I like the saturation. The bias, we're going to go to +3. Wow and flutter, I am going to actually, I don't know why that is the way it is, so let's fix that. The wow and flutter about between, not much, like we are maybe 0.1, hello, let's get there. To 0.2. This just kind of, the wow and flutter kind of emulates the movement of the tape head. Well, that's exactly what it does. So I don't want a lot of that right now. If I want it to sound, if I want to come back and crank that up, I might. All right, great. Always noise level off. So the 888 formula is emulating an EMI tape, if you will. So it's the closest to vintage sounding tape. That's why we're going with this, right? So we want the drive here to hit between 2 and 5. So let's see what we got. I'm going to err on the side of caution because I know once I start treating the vocals and such, it's going to push more signal. I'm starting with the mix bus because I'm trying to shape the overall tonal quality of this song first. This is how I've been mixing, and I kind of like that. Now, I mean, in any mixing, you're going to have to kind of go back and forth and check things. You know, you might hear some distortion. Like, for instance, if I go to the lead vocal bus and I start this mix bus chain and I hear some distortion, I'm going to go over to the mix bus, look at the tape. All right, we're still about 17.1. I'm good with that. All right, the next one I'm putting in is a console. Remember, because we're running from tape to console. We're playing back from the tape, right? The recording's done on the tape, so I'm trying to emulate that. I'm playing it back from the tape. It's coming now back through the console. I'm using Waves NLS Bus Sumner, or Summer. I always put the N in there. I don't know why. And I'm using Nevo, the classic Nevo 1073. I am so sorry. I don't know why. I've got all this stuff going on. Allergies. All right, so we're going to drive about between 3 and 4 here. We're just trying to get a little subtle drive. I'm going to do it also minimum 3. I'm going to leave a little headroom for later in case I want to go crank this up. I'm using the trim button to gain stage. Make sure that this is going to go back to 17.1 because now you can see that it has clamped down my volume and driven it down to 19.2. Very good. Okay. Now, excuse me. We're going to do a little, I'm in the wrong, let's do this again. I don't know if anybody else has been having some crazy ass. All right, good. All right, I did have this set right. I was looking at the wrong folder. I'm sorry. I've designed all these PDFs to help people, to give even the beginner some knowledge and understand why and what. And I've also designed them because I can't keep all this in my head. So they're also for me. So I'm literally using, right now I'm going through my PDF that I've designed for the mix bus. That's what we're doing. And I take it back. On the tape, we do want to go ahead and push that saturation up to 5 or 6. I had it right to begin with. So my apologies. All right, that's not a big deal. We'll just go to, again, I'm just going to. I'm just gain staging. I'm just making sure that this number stays around 17.3. I just don't want huge sweeping jumps. If it's off, you know, point one or two here and there, that's okay. All right, so we got the console emulation happening, which is great. We've already talked about that. All right, so now we're going to take a little bit of EQ. I am using Universal Audio Pultec EQ P1A, and I will tell you that this is a very, very powerful EQ. Like, a little goes a long way, I have learned. Terribly sorry, you guys. So where we're going to start here is that we're going to boost around 60. And what's so cool about the Pultec EQ-P1A is that you can boost and attenuate at the same time, which kind of tightens up the low end. So it's not boomy, but it's nice and round at the bottom. This is where we're going to start, and especially on an acoustic track, 60 is, it sounds right to me, right? Feels right to me. And then we're just doing a little bit on the top end. I'm doing the same thing. I'm attenuating at the same time. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's listen to it with it off and on again. You can hear how the tape just like, whoa, opens it up. Right? That console's giving it a little bit more of that warmth, that analog warmth. Now, I'm hearing with that Pultec EQ P1A a little bit of the vocal coming forward now, right? It's starting to kind of push the vocal forward a little bit, setting those instruments back just a little bit in a warmer kind of backdrop. Now, UAD, Fairchild plugin. So what we're going to do is I'm also going to grab, you can use Logic's Gain Stage plugin as well. What I'm trying to do here is I want to use this CAL setting here, which is what is it's the vintage sounding. Hold on, I just want to check this real quick. All right, we wanted this on 20. Nope, I had it right at 10. So, I'm sorry, I wanted to tell you this real quick. This a 10 cell setting, we're going to go with 10 right now. So this will focus more on a little high-end sizzle and air. You know what? The 5 here will kind of tame any upper mid-range harshness. I'm going to leave it at 10 right now. Okay. So basically, what we're trying to do here with this, by the way, just even when you just put it on the song, you can hear a little bit of the coloration. It's lovely. Well, so you can hear how it's already starting to tighten up the song, right? Kind of keeping everything so it's not hollow sounding, I guess is the best word I can use. So, from what I understand from this, the CAL setting down here on the DC threshold, right, is that this, when it's on here on this vintage setting, this plugin needs to be driven pretty hard. So, keeping it at between 15 and 18, minus 15 and 18 dBs is not hot enough. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually grab, first I'm going to try the Waves Shep 73, which emulates actually the 1073. And I'm just going to use it not as an EQ of any sort, use the default setting. I'm just going to use it to color, a little more analog color, because why not? I mean, we're in a digital setting. And I'm going to use it to push into the Fairchild 670. And then I'll use the output knobs to gain stage it back to between minus 15 and minus 18 dB. That's the goal here. So let me grab that Shep's, the Waves, the Shep 673. Come back here. Anybody else having computer weirdness happening in this Schumann resonance off the charts, Mercury in retrograde wildness? Because I definitely have been. And if you're tuning in, welcome. We are talking about using Stax Records tips and tricks in a digital setting, but trying to get as much analog emulating plugins that we possibly can to achieve that sound. Right now, we are focused on the Fairchild 670 to tighten up our mix and learning about how to drive it properly on this DC threshold cow setting. This is a custom song that I wrote. It's an acoustic custom song. Tell me where you're watching from, man. Say hello in the comments. I still am offering up a free 30-second mantra song, just something with maybe some stacked harmonies or maybe just a vocal that just can say anything like, I am such a badass, or I am so, money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. Anything. No person, place, or thing has any power over me. Things like that. Anything that's going to give you that extra boost you need walking into your job or going into the gym, or just if you want to get up in the morning and listen to it, somebody singing to you and telling you what a badass you are. I'm a girl. And I'm doing it for free. So put my mantra in the comment, and I'm going to do a drawing. And also, I do have a slot for a custom song left for this week. I will knock it out for you. And I'm taking a couple for August as well. And, you know, custom songs can be anything. I mean, this is, a friend wrote this for a couple of her friends that she loves and has had great experiences with in the city of San Francisco. I wrote one called Polly fucking Anna for a girl's sister who is a self-acclaimed Polly fucking Anna. That's what she calls herself. We have an anniversary song. I wrote a song for somebody's 60th birthday. And it's not just like a happy birthday song. It was very detailed about her life. And you have say-so every step of the way. I'll sketch out the lyrics, And you tell me yes or no, and we refine it and refine it and refine it until you're like, yes, that's where the direction I want to go. All right, let's see what we got here. This is why I have both of the plugins pulled in. All right, let me tell you what I'm doing here. So basically, I'm trying to push it until the meter hits between -1 and -3 dB. So let's go ahead and get all the settings right that we want on this whole Fairchild before we continue with this, right? So we're actually going to put the time constant to about 4 or 5. We're going to go all the way to 5. This is a more of a smooth attack and release. And because this is kind of a mid-slow tempoed song, that's the way I'm going to go with this. All right, the sidechain filter we're going to leave off right now. Basically what this does is it prevents bass from over triggering the compression, and because really there's no bass in this song, I'm going to leave it off, right? If it was a bass forward song, I might roll it off to, you know, a little bit. All right, the mix knob, we're going to leave fully wet at 100 here. These screws, we're just going to leave them centered as they are. Right, and we're just going to do lat vert mode on this, just to ensure we're stereo compressing, right? Now, you're going to school. I love it. We're going to keep the sidechain and the controls linked. Obviously, we want the controls linked because we want to keep this in stereo, right? The threshold, we're going to set between 12 and 3. We're going to start at 12 as we start to drive the Fairchild here. And I'm going to say we're going to put this to about, we'll start at 2 o'clock. We want to, this is going to, around 2 o'clock is going to give us kind of a medium compression. It's going to avoid oversaturation, and we don't want to squash the song, especially as an acoustic song. We might back it off even a little bit more. But this input channel is basically how much signal is being let in to the compressor, right? The threshold is helping to give us that reduction over in the VU meter. So let's see what we got here. And you can see I'm using this as a preamp here. And actually, I'm just going to turn these off. Unless it sounds better. Yeah, they're all at 0 anyway. I'm trying to watch the meter here on the input and the output. And as you can see, driving the input also drives the volume. You can see it's also pushing into the threshold, into the compressor. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so. I don't really want the meter going into the red or even close to it because I still have other mix bus chains to tend to on this song. So I might, for the moment, use a combination of the gain stage plugin and the 1073 or the Shep 73 because I am loving the tone of this song. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. I'm going to try to keep this UV meter in between -5 and 2. 3 even. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. Yes. Yes, I am incredibly happy with that. Already, yeah, man, the mix is sounding tighter to me. Yeah. Yeah, it's delish. It's delish. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. Love's got the feel. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond. Great, so I just gain staged it back to close to where it was. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel. I'm going to go to nominal on the bias. I like it better. +3 was giving me a little too much saturation. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side. And now I've gone ahead and linked the in and out. So now if I'm going to do any adjustments, it'll gain stage itself from now on. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the bond so real. San Francisco nights, stars shining bright. They built their name. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side. I'm trying to make it so it's max -3 on the VU on the mix chain here. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side. Love's got the feel with Buddha by their side in the. Now the mix bus has gone up to 16. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Love's got the feel with Buddha so far, this overview of this tone is fabulous. Fabulous. Really, it's going to be a matter of automating things. Oh, let's put this back down to 0. Or balance, really. And we still have, this is still in mono, by the way. We're mixing in mono. That's also part of the secret sauce. And you can get your mono by just going into your gain stage plugin on your mix bus and just clicking mono on, right? Yeah, this is lovely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over to the lead vocal bus. Now, I've heard different ways. Some people say, balance your tracks absolutely dry. I'm not doing that, clearly. Because now with the vocal, all the instrumentation was used in the Apollo Twin X, and I also ran everything through a tape, Studer tape. So essentially, I've already done like what's going into the console, right? Created that vibe, and so the playback from tape. So now I'm in the mix stage, but I feel like I want to go ahead and run everything through its proper processes, its mix bus chains, and then I'm going to start going through and balancing. So much of it is just experimentation, and this for me is an experimentation to see whether or not this is going to make me regret that decision. But I've done it both ways, and so far I like this way the best. So let's go over to the lead vocal bus. All right. All right, so clearly, let's see. All right, I'm good with that. All right, I wanted it between -15, -18. Let's start with tape. I'm going to try to get through the lead vocals and the backing vocals on this, but I might sign off with you guys. Just to give you an idea what the mix bus was, I wanted to show you that the Universal Audio Fairchild 670 trick. The Waves, Puig 670, I don't believe you have to drive it as hard. Now, I'm using the cow in the DC threshold because, again, it emulates what the vintage hardware would have, how the vintage hardware would have reacted. So, okay, that's the mix chain for now, you guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. I will be performing a few songs, getting ready to go to Seattle, Washington to do a really cool production about the 1960s music with just a gang full of fantastic vocalists and performers and choreography and really talented producer and director Susan Manigault and her husband Eric Manigault, who runs the whole joint with her and packs the house. We're playing at this really cool theater called the Federal Way Community Theater, and yeah, it's all in the link tree below if you're interested. If you're in that area and you want to get tickets and come see a really cool production. I'm doing some Aretha Franklin and Janis Joplin, so I am practicing those songs with you here live, albeit in a different context with just me and guitar, kind of slowing those down and stretching my pipes and working my pipes a little bit. So when I get there and I'm hit the stage, I'm ready to go. So tomorrow I'll be doing some songs, and I will be continuing mixing songs and recording for my EP all week, 9 p.m. and then Sunday at 2:15 p.m. So, all right, you guys, thanks so much. I hope this helps. Leave any comments below. If you got any questions, I'm here to answer them for you. And yeah, I hope you'll go check out my free lead vocal mix chain PDF in the Linktree link below. I've also got some free songs for you, and I've got the very detailed, and I will show you what this looks like here, PDF as well. I mean, there's a whole table of contents here. It gives you the entire chain. It tells you what settings you want to use if you're going for that analog stack sound, which I just don't think there's anything more delicious sounding than that, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And it'll give you various plugins to choose from. It always gives you a Logic plugin choice as well, because as a beginner, I didn't know about these plugins, and I went down many rabbit holes to get these particular waves and Universal Audio plugins. So if you're a newbie, you should be able to get some great sounding mixes using some of these chains. And if you're far advanced and are curious about, what were some of the tips and tricks used at Stax Records, think Otis Redding, the Staple Singers, Carla Thomas, Ike and Tina Turner recorded. So many people recorded there. And this will all give you the what, the why, and the how. All right. Thanks again, you guys. Once again, I hope you will also consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you this week. I'll take